Hi everyone, and welcome to another video. If this is the first time that you're seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot and this is my YouTube channel. A massive welcome back to those who are returning. I have taken such a break in the last 2 months, recharging, living life, being a human being, gaining experience, and mostly just resting so that I could come back and give you guys the best of me as your reader. So thank you so much everybody for selecting this video and for choosing to be a part of this community at this moment in time. I'm so grateful for all of you. Now, full disclosure, this is the second time that I'm filming this intro, sweet souls. The first time I filmed this intro, my nails were crazy. And the thing is, I have been filming this reading over the last 2 weeks. So you're going to see the progression. In group 1, 2, and 3, you guys are going to get the old nails version. And group 4, as well as the extended reading of group 3, you guys will see the new nails. But I thought, why not? I'm going to refilm the intro now that I have these. And I just feel like I have a better understanding of the direction that this reading is going in. So this is going to be a guidance reading. And the benefit of filming the intro after having filmed all the groups is that I do know what we're going to be talking about. We're asking Spirit, what do you need to know right now? What do you need to hear right now? And as your messenger for each of the groups, I will be channeling messages from Spirit about your life in general. A lot of themes come through for each of the groups. We're talking about health, we're talking about money, we're talking about purpose, we're talking about love, we're talking about friendship, family connections. So much comes through. So I highly recommend that you take time to ground yourself and center yourself in this reading so that you can select a group that you feel most drawn to. You may have messages in multiple groups, especially because this is a general guidance reading. So if you feel drawn to more than one group, that is completely fine. If you need more time selecting a group, pause the video. I'm going to talk about the groups briefly, but there will be a 1-minute meditation clip that will play after this clip as well. And that meditation is guided, and it was created to connect you to your intuition from a peaceful state, a calm state, so that you can intuitively select the group or the groups that you feel most drawn to. So there is going to be an extended reading as well for each of the 4 groups, following that similar theme of what do you need to hear, what do you need to know right now. However, the extended reading will focus specifically on love and romance. So if you feel like you need more direction, more guidance, more insight on that specific area of your life, and especially if the first part of your reading does resonate, the extended reading links are in the description box as well as the pinned comment. So stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's introduce you to the group. So we have 4. Starting over here, this is group 1. Group 1, you have Celestial Uterus, and I've turned all these cards upright just to help me introduce them to you. It looks a little bit more uniform, but plot twist, not all of them did come out upright. So we'll talk about that more in your group. The deck that I'm using is the Cosmos Oracle deck. I got mine from Tarot Stack and I am an affiliate. It costs you nothing extra, but it does support this channel if you use my affiliate link in the description box. So group 1 from the Cosmos Oracle deck, you have Celestial Uterus. And the crystal that I chose for you, which also relates to your card and your group's energy, is selenite. If you feel drawn towards this crystal or this card, you'll be a part of group 1's reading. Group 2, you have synchronous rotation. And the crystal that I chose for you is this beautiful crystal here. I don't actually know the name of it, but if you take a I should have really Googled it. I mean, I had so much time to. But if you take a closer look, you can see some silver amidst the layers in this crystal. The layers are mostly a greeny sort of blue color, similar to raw amazonite. And there's also some gold in there too, just some sort of browner hues in the layers. So if you feel drawn towards this crystal or the synchronous rotation card, you'll be a part of group 2's reading. All the crystals correlate to the energy of their groups as well, based on how I intuitively read them. Group 3, you have the Black Body card as well as the Snowflake Obsidian crystal. And this deck is inspired by physics as well as astrology. It's kind of like a mix of astronomy and astrology. So we do delve into the meanings of these cards as well, but I encourage you to intuitively select the groups today. If you feel drawn to Black Body card or the Snowflake Obsidian crystal, you'll be a part of group 3's reading. And then on the far right, we have group 4 with the Protoplanetary Disc card and this Sunny crystal. I used to know what this crystal was, and now it's completely skipped my mind. That's interesting. Oh, that's so annoying. Pretty sure this happened the first time around as well. But if you feel drawn towards this crystal or the Protoplanetary Disc card, you will be a part of group 4's reading. So those are the 4 groups. As I said, pause the video if you need to, or join me in the 1-minute meditation clip if you want more help. Once you know which of these 4 groups you're feeling most drawn to, click on the timestamp in the description box and join me in your reading. So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number. It may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color. It could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading. Hi, my group 1s, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Celestial Uterus card or this selenite crystal right here, then this is going to be your reading with me today. We're asking Spirit, what do you need to know right now? Sometimes I may accidentally change the wording and say, what do you need to hear instead? It's ultimately the same thing from my perspective because I'm telling you the information, so you're likely to digest it through your ears, through your hearing. But my intention is to try to get as much clear information as possible about your life right now, your journey right now. This reading is going to explore key themes that you need to know about, and we're going to get lots of advice as well. Now, I am aiming to cover all aspects of your life, but the extended reading will cover specifically your love life. So if the first part of your reading does resonate and you want to extend your reading with me, in turn supporting this channel and what I do over here, the link to your extended reading is in the description box and the pinned comment. With that shameless plug out of the way, let's get into it. Spirit, tune me into my group 1's energy. Celestial Uterus is a beautiful card, group 1. I'm straight away being reminded of the meanings that I only, thankfully for your group, recently read because you're group 1, so I'm coming straight from the intro. Now, Celestial Uterus is this concept of birth and creation that never stops. The idea that the universe is always constantly creating. Energy cannot be destroyed. It is constantly reinventing itself and in a period of renewal as well as birth. So key terms and key themes in your life right now are birth, are creation, new opportunities, reinvention, as well as this hope of renewal. I am seeing that overall, you need to know that whatever period in your life you've recently been through that may have felt confusing or a little challenging or even a little hopeless, it did happen so that you could pave the way for these new windows that seem to be opening. And the reason they seem to be windows is because you have the opportunity to kind of peer through and see if you want to explore what's out there. Whereas a door, Spirit's saying, is a bit more confrontational. It's a little bit more, once the door's open, it kind of feels like whatever's out there has to come in or you have to go out. So a window is opening to give you an opportunity to peer through and to decide whether there are different pathways that you want to take in life. I'm specifically being called towards purpose, which could mean career for some of you, but it could also mean a physical sense of purpose, a physical relocation that is linked to your lifestyle and your money in some way. I believe that you guys have the opportunity to look through a window and decide, is this where my sense of purpose now lies? This celestial uterus card does seem to be highlighting the opportunity to reinvent yourself. I'm seeing ego and identity, those words very clearly in my mind. Identity is stronger. So there seems to be a theme here of you being able to experiment a little bit and consider how you're being portrayed and how you want to portray yourself to others. There could be an opportunity to reinvent your image or your reputation in some way. I think that there's an opportunity here in your present moment to really solidify the person that you want to be, making sure that your actions authentically align with the identity that you want to have. I am seeing some numbers, 111, 555, 777. These are all uneven numbers. And there seems to be an energy here of change and movement, trusting the process. You guys may have recently gone out on a limb and taken a bit of a leap of faith or done something that was very much out of your comfort zone. You need to hear that this was the right step for you. The universe is reciprocating your energy and bringing you more opportunities that align with this energy of risk that you have. You take a risk, you take a chance, and I believe that you had to. You had to get out of a box or a comfort zone or just a kind of repetitive chapter in your life, because now you're stimulating growth, you're stimulating movement, and you're also stimulating the energy, bringing new energy in. So let's explore this theme of renewal a little bit more. Spirit, what are my group ones renewing? I'm hearing hope really clearly. I think that a lot of you need a sense of hope because you need to renew your mindset. You need to be able to renew a mentality of belief that you can have what you want. So this chapter of your life is also about you trusting yourself as much as you trust the universe to be able to deliver. You guys may have felt like you were asking, you were hoping, you were manifesting, you were praying, and things just weren't changing. Things just weren't happening for you. You're being reminded of the principles of energy and attraction and the idea that energy relies on space. So you guys may have had a certain amount of energy that was being taken up. So while you wanted something, you couldn't have it because something else was taking up that space of your physical world. There's also this idea that you were only exchanging energy in a very limiting way. And while your mind wanted these other things, your physical actions did not reflect what you wanted. So I think that whatever this risk was recently, whatever this leap of faith was, this getting out of a comfort zone sort of action was, That was you testing yourself and the universe to see if you could have more. Spirit says don't give up. So for some of you, this is about really committing yourself to change, not just sort of dabbling in it and then letting a negative mentality cause setbacks. You guys may need to be a little bit more consistent with how you follow through and how you follow up on the things that you want, and continue to put yourself in places that you want to be, among people who you want to exchange energy with, and doing the things that you are aspiring to do. Now, if this is about finances, there is a renewal here, but it does feel like we're being met with physical, tangible conflicts. There could be systemic issues around why you can't necessarily have the abundance that you want, or why you can't spend money on the things that you want. Spirit's message with this seems to be around making sure that you are operating within those systems if you exist within them. So there are, and if you don't want to, you got to remove yourself from it. Okay, so the way that it's being shown to me, as an example, is tax, right? Tax is something that we have to pay no matter where we live, in what society. But that's the thing. Spirit's like, if you don't like the way that it's done here, move. Like, change, physically move. If you don't like what you're being paid here, change, physically move. Because ultimately, like, that needs to be done. That's part of the system in the society that we live. But there are ways to access a better version of that system, if that makes sense. That's what's kind of showing through when it comes to finances and dealing with those systemic blockages or issues. Now, outside of blockages and issues, this idea of renewal is about mindset first and foremost. So I do think that in order for you to be able to see all of the opportunities, all of the growth, and all of the new windows that are opening, you do have to work on your mindset. Continue to affirm within yourself that you can have this, and stay accountable. Spirit's really strongly saying stay accountable. So this is not just about being happy all the time. This is about being reactive. If you want something, you have to initiate, and you have to also follow through. And the way that this is impacting your mentality is, I do think that naturally it's easier to fall back on old patterns, on comfortable sort of habits, and it's easier to kind of slip back into old cycles with familiar people, familiar places. But that isn't what's going to inspire change or create change. Spirit's saying you have to believe that you can have this, and you have to commit to it mentally, so that physically the action just becomes your new habits. You have to kind of push through that and have a little bit of discipline with that as well, especially because it is very natural to want to fall into what feels comfortable. But you have to remind yourself that you weren't happy when you were comfortable, that you want more. And if you're not ready for that, then you need to accept that, and you need to find comfort in the comfortable, because there's no point in not doing anything to change that if you're just going to complain about the fact that it's not changing. Interesting. Someone's getting really called out there. Okay, that's all I can see with this card, so it's time to pull out more cards. Spirit, what do my group ones need to know right now? What do my group ones need to know right now? Okay, let's have a look at your first message. Your first message is about cycles, hard work, and I'm hearing endings. Seems like you guys are about to receive a new opportunity that will impact your lifestyle and your finances. We did intuit this already. but we have to close the door emotionally. We have to put an end to something once and for all. We have to not let our fears get in the way. The universe is about celebration and recognizing the end of a chapter in our lives. The reason why this is ending is because our hard work has gotten us to this point where we can celebrate the success we've made, appreciate the challenges that we've overcome, and recognize how our hard work and consistency is what got us here today. It's also a bit of a sentimental moment, an opportunity to sort of pull your loved ones close and celebrate the people who have supported you up until this point. So there could be an opportunity to do this, like a celebration or some sort of sentimental gathering. But the energy here is of appreciation and love for self and the community that got you to where you are today. There's also an opportunity here to reflect. So Spirit kind of wants you to journal. There is South Node energy here, which is an energy of reflecting on how far you've come and recognizing the cycles that you have overcome and closed, mostly so that you can see the growth for what it is. This is also going to help you identify when you accidentally slip back into those cycles. Y'all need to process some relationships here and some habits that you have in these relationships, some habits that past partners had in these relationships, so that you are aware of how you want to grow from here, how you want to develop from here, what do you want to leave behind, and what do you want to focus your energy on moving forward. Outside of relationships, the North Node is showing up strongly on this card, which is about your potential, your direction, and potentially a sense of purpose, like I was talking about before. So Spirit really wants to drive home that this new chapter that you are about to really start has a strong sense of purpose in it. And if it was a novel on your life, it would be called Purpose, this chapter. So I do think that you guys have overcome some insane challenges. There is an energy here of karma and really trying to end this chapter of your life with a sense of accomplishment. You are a warrior and you have a fighter's spirit, but this new chapter that we're starting is not about fighting. It's about thriving, it's about enjoying, and it's about really claiming the rewards of the growth that you have, that you deserve. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is fundamentally an opportunity, and I do think that this is more of a material opportunity. I really think that the Ace of Pentacles is driving home the fact that this opportunity is going to impact your material world. And I think that even if it's a job offer or a new living situation, it is going to impact your lifestyle, which will change a lot of your little habits. And it has the potential to be very positive towards, as like a stepping stone, towards you becoming the person that you want to be. So while it may start off quite small, it has the potential to become very impactful, very fruitful, and a big part of creating the person that you want to be. And that's where I think we have that theme of renewal and identity coming back in. You getting to kind of choose who you want to be in this new chapter and how you want to live. So pay attention to your little habits, to your small choices and decisions from the moment you open your eyes to the moment you close them at night or whenever you do fall asleep. Your routine, how you spend your time, not because you need to be disciplined all the time, but you do need to pay attention to how all of these little choices are impacting the windows of opportunity that you're seeing. For example, if you choose to be online all the time, but you're passively scrolling, you're not really going to be able to pay attention and see something as an opportunity. You're just looking for it as a distraction. So those are little ways of kind of switching your mindset to be able to see these windows for what they are. For example, you guys may be shown content probably because the algorithm is insane and whoever developed it needs a raise, but also because your interest is being piqued in very specific ways. So if you're being shown a specific video over and over and over again, or the concept of a video over and over and over again, that could be a subtle way of hinting that this is something you need to explore further. Not to the point where you're just, again, repeating the cycle of passively scrolling over and over and over again, but taking action upon it and doing your own research to understand, well, why is this interesting to me? Is this my new sense of purpose? When we talk about this purpose, though, I don't think it is brand new. I think it's something that's been developing for some time. The Ace of Pentacles is considered one of the best opportunities because it's not only something that has the potential to last for a very long time, but it's also something that has deep meaning to us, deep value to us. So the way that I'm seeing this is, whatever your sense of purpose is, it only has so much value to it because you've wanted it for quite some time. Now that could be a period of months, but it could also be years for those who have really been wanting this for a long, long, long time. With the Death card reversed, it's that reminder, like I said before, of you needing to overcome your fear in order to claim this new window, this new opportunity. The Death card reminds me of Scorpio. And Scorpio has a lot of zeal. Scorpio can really get up and seize the day if it wants to, or it can choose to kind of sit in the shadows and wait because something doesn't quite feel right. So pay attention to your gut instincts, but pay attention to how your logic may be overriding that zeal. There could be genuine reasons for concern that require additional research, or there could be a need to just reflect and identify that fear for what it is, whether it's rational or irrational. I do think that you are the one that's going to make or break this new opportunity for the Death card to be here, and you do need to give yourself time to process and reflect on key emotional events that have happened in the last 12 months and how that may be impacting your ability to clearly decide what you want moving forward. Spirit, what else am I missing? What other key themes do you have for my group ones? What do they need to know right now? What do my group ones need to know? Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. Spirit saying you're magnetic. You can have it. The Princess of Wands. Yeah, don't be afraid to explore, to get creative with it. I'm hearing to mess around and find out. I want to swear because that's what we do in Australia, but YouTube will not be happy. So we're going to say the PG version. Mess around and find out. Spirit is saying if you do anything with a good attitude, you're going to be successful no matter what. You're at that point in your journey where you putting yourself out there is the best thing that you can do in all aspects of your life. You have a lot to offer, but you have a lot to gain when it comes to experience. These wands are about you attracting the right energy towards you by putting the right energy out there. So that's why that mindset message came through initially. But to be most truthful to you, the mind is a very powerful tool as a human being. We are conscious beings for a reason, and our mindset impacts the energy that we radiate. So if you have the right mindset, in theory, you can alter your vibration, your energy, your frequency to be able to attract exactly what you desire. If you have the right thing in your mind, and you maintain that frequency energetically, it will eventually find you. I can see with the Princess of Wands here, it won't take that long. In fact, you guys have the potential to get carried away. Once you find something that you're interested in, once you develop a level of interest that turns into a passion, that turns into a sense of purpose, it's going to happen quite quickly for you, and you may find yourself sort of falling into this path of purpose without even trying. So I do think that the Princess of Wands is a reflection of quick communication, quick action, and the right mindset leading to fast development, fast growth. The Princess of Wands can be an energy of a crush as well, an infatuation that really sort of leads us to do things impulsively. But I think that the path that you're walking down has a lot of potential to, again, give you exactly what you need when it comes to experience. Now, experience is important because they can see that you guys are desiring long-term growth, long-term results, and overall respect. If you're interacting with other people, you want people to treat you with respect, and you want people to recognize you as someone that is high value. So I do see all of that happening. That's why we have the Queen of Wands there. Although our actions may be a little more likened towards the Princess of Wands, our energy that we're radiating is very regal and it's very clear. So I do see an attraction here forming for those who are interested in love. I see a physical attraction to somebody that then turns into a crush. And these feelings have the potential to be more long-term. You're just being really cautioned towards communication and clear communication, keeping things very balanced. It's important that you don't leave stones unturned in the early stages of connecting with this individual. I'm seeing water signs. I'm also seeing Taurus, but it could be a Taurus moon or a Taurus Venus, which will be very interesting, all that earth energy and that. Venus loves Taurus. Venus is most comfortable. Well, actually, let's not say that. I'm not an astrologist. I'm just an astro enthusiast. But Venus and Taurus go together like ham and cheese. So I do think that there is this energy here of development through consistency if this is about love. And I really think, well, it is about love, but if love applies to you, if that's what you're looking for, I really think this might start off as something more lighthearted, more flirty, more casual, but through consistency, it'll become serious without even trying. Effortless nurturing. These are the cards that I'm looking at here. Now, steering away from love, let's talk about a sense of lifestyle, which will be developed through that passionate purpose. I think that overall Spirit's message here is to focus on the small choices that you're making with the Two of Swords reversed. You don't have to worry too much about the overall picture. I think that if you just focus on those small changes, on those small choices, those small decisions, and handling those choices with the right attitude, it will naturally lead to growth. I'm seeing very natural growth for this group. You don't have to worry or think too far ahead. Your energy is aligned with your outcome. You just have to focus on placing one foot in front of the other, on following through with one conversation after the other, one little action after the other. I do think that this is about accountability, but this isn't about being a control freak and having everything planned out. Consistency, slowly but surely, one foot in front of the other. Now, family-wise, I am seeing fertility. There could be someone around you that's getting pregnant, or this could be your message if you are trying to conceive. I do think that physical conception is still possible. I'm seeing a very natural process of conception here. I'm also seeing good news when it comes to health and you having a choice to make. That will ultimately be something that you may not have been prepared for, but it will be a positive outcome if you just listen to your gut instinct on this. Whatever decision you make, it's important that you're selfish with it. It's your body, it's your journey, and it's about your gut instinct and how you feel, regardless of what other people want for you and regardless of what other people's opinions are. It's almost like somebody is trying to get in your ear and say it's not the best time, like I feel a little concerned about this. You may also be helping somebody else out with their health and trying to be more supportive towards them, which is a very interesting energy, but it's coming through. Now, for those who are worried about an existing relationship, I think that it would benefit the both of you to try to take a load off and just spend some time getting to know each other again, making it a little lighthearted. This could be platonic as well. Especially if this friend has recently come back into your life. There is a message here of just keeping it fun, keeping it simple, doing something that doesn't have too much pressure. I think that this relationship needs more development, more sentimental opportunity, more quality time, and more important moments for serious conversations to happen naturally. If you set it up in a cold and clinical and forced, almost confrontational way, we're probably not going to get the reactions, the responses, or the opportunities that we want. So a natural approach to these connections that are pre-existing, platonic and romantic, will have positive results. Focusing on quality time will naturally create opportunities for these serious conversations to come out. So that's really what I'm seeing with this energy. I do think that most of you are attracting new connections in, but I hope that that last message was helpful for those who have existing connections. Let's see if we can get any closing advice from your higher self before we go into your extended reading. For my group ones, please, Spirit. What closing advice do you have for my group ones? Okay, we have throat chakra, and it's landing over that area of your life. Interesting. So there we have another clear sign of communication and mentality being extremely important in order to grow and experience what you are craving. This is interesting because there is a physical element to these cravings, but there's also a spiritual element to these cravings. Your higher self is saying that this sense of purpose, passion, and direction is a big part of your spiritual self. It does feel like this may conflict with your material world. You guys may feel like you're quite grounded right now, or that you have a lot of responsibilities that you should be focused on or attached to, but your spiritual vessel is craving experience. It's craving the opportunity to get out there and to exchange energy with like-minded people and with places that stimulate this sense of belonging. I feel like your physical vessel is being impacted by the spiritual desire to soak the world up like a sponge. And I also think that this is a reflection of you needing to flow more, to really loosen up and connect more with your natural being, to be less rigid, less performance-based, and just get into the energy of flow. The sacral chakra, I've always thought, was an energy of passion and fire, but it's actually an energy of water. The element of water, and the idea of flowing and moving naturally without really thinking and confining. It's just about letting things unfold as they are meant to happen, letting things be felt as they are meant to be felt without being concerned about what it might lead to. Your higher self is encouraging you to be more intuitive, a bit more feminine in that aspect, while the throat chakra is also calling for you to be clear-minded. In order for these things to happen, you have to see them for what they are. You might miss an opportunity because you're not paying attention to what it could be. And the throat chakra is encouraging clear communication, clear reaction, clear intention. So that is what I'm seeing for you, my group ones. I'm going to end your reading here. We will go into the extended reading now, where we will have a look at how this energy truly impacts your love life, your romantic life, whether you are looking for something serious or not, whether you're single or in a relationship. There will be messages for you there. So if this first part of your reading did resonate and you wish to extend your reading, the link is in the description box as well as the pinned comment. I have a little spiel that I have to rattle off. If you've heard it before, I apologize. It hasn't changed too much. If you're new, it's really important that you double check which extended reading you are clicking on. When you click on that link, it takes you to a page where I host many extended readings. So a quick reminder, you are my group ones of the What Do You Need to Know reading, What Do You Need to Hear reading that I posted in July 2024, group 1. Make sure you triple check, double check before you pay any money and before you check out. Thank you so much, sweet souls, for joining me right here on YouTube. It's been an absolute pleasure to read for you. Thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead until we cross paths again. Bye. Hi group 2 and welcome to your reading. Please ignore my nails, they are still looking correct, but I will be getting them fixed for the next video. We are here today not because of my nails, but because you have some messages from Spirit. So we're asking Spirit, what do you need to hear? What do you need to know at the time that you're watching this video? It was honestly such a joy delivering group 1's messages, and the reading turned out to be a lot more profound than what I was expecting. So I took some time out to recharge after that, and I'm back with your reading. So I feel really rested, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. It might be a good idea to get something to take notes with so that you're writing down what resonates and also just little details that may resonate later. This is not a prediction reading, but it is a reading on your present moment. And sometimes when we are talking about the present, there are little nuanced details or information that we can't fully see until we've moved beyond that moment. So I do recommend that you take notes and journal all the little stuff, especially if it's not resonating right now. So if you recognize the synchronous rotation card or this incredibly pretty unique crystal, then this is going to be your reading. I'll put your crystal up here for now. And we do have a lot to look into with the synchronous rotation. Now, this is actually one of my favorite cards in the deck. I think because it's a bit of a mouthful for me, I always forget how beautiful the message is behind this card. But it is a wonderful card. The energy that I'm getting intuitively, I do have the guidebook here to double check, but the energy that I'm getting intuitively is that your energy right now and a major theme in your life right now is about balance. We see this duality, and the imagery on this card is actually the moon. It's supposed to represent the moon's face and the fact that there are two spaces to the moon, the one that we see and the one that is actually always in the dark. So without reading the guidebook too much, I feel like a key theme for this group is about hidden themes, perhaps some underlying elements to your journey, things that haven't yet been shown to you. And this is about balancing out what you can know and what you don't know, because there is this overall energy in this group with synchronous rotation being here of a feeling of having to release and surrender. There's a part of your journey that is not within your scope of knowledge for a reason. And I do think that while some information is going to be revealed to you, right now you have all the information you need in order to embrace the best possible outcome for your journey. So there's an overall message from Spirit to really surrender your journey and to trust that you have all the tools that you need to be your most successful self. If you do need anything else, keep seeking, but what you will need will find you. There is also a message here when we look at the moon of cycles, and there is this feeling here of a natural shift in your energy. If you are feeling a little unproductive, a little unsuccessful, a little bit sluggish, even a little bit slow, this is natural. There is a reminder here of how we cannot defy the laws of nature. We are natural beings and we can't always be high performance. We have to allow our body time to rest. We have to allow our physical vessel time to actually take care of itself and to perhaps just be a bit slower than it would like to be, than we would like it to be. And to also just be a little bit more aware of how pushing yourself too much can lead to long-term issues with your health. So there is a message to really slow down and to be able to stay in tune with your body's needs and with the rest that you may need as well. Try not to get too frustrated if you are sick or if you are experiencing injuries that are limiting your ability to perform at your peak capacity. That's a reminder again that you have all the tools, all the information you need. And there's also a message that you are exactly where you need to be. So don't beat yourself up too much. Now, let's have a look at the guidebook. The guidebook is saying Do you know where the expression "the two faces of the moon" comes from? Not a single day has passed or will ever pass where the moon shows its other face. The gravity of one body slows the orbit of another, so that it always has the same face. The far side of the moon is the one we never see from Earth. We always see the same side as the moon rotates at the same speed as it orbits around the Earth. This card warns us about the hidden, what we do not see. The interesting thing here is that it's not about a lack of vision, but about what does not wish to be seen, or who does not wish to be shown. So you guys may be seeking information about a person or a situation that you're not supposed to know about right now. I do feel like this is a humble reminder that there are enigmas for a reason. As intelligent as we are, as conscious as we are, we still are not entitled to every piece of information. That's not what being human means. And although we may thirst for knowledge and hunger for this clarity that we think we need, we are ultimately given exactly what we need to get through things. I'm hearing what we deserve. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I do want to get some tarot out for you, sweet souls, to clarify. Spirit, for my group 2s, tune me into my group 2's energy. I want to ask a few questions for you. For my group 2s, Spirit. First things first, what do they need to know right now? We have the Ace of Swords. Where is that coming from, Spirit? What can they expect with this Ace of Swords? Okay, I'll take the top card. We have the Moon, obviously. And they want to show us the Seven of Swords as well. Interesting. This is very much about secrets and communication coming through to discuss something that has been previously out of your scope of awareness. Intuitively, I'm feeling somebody coming to you to talk to you, group 2. I feel like they want to get something off their chest because my chest is really tight. If you came to this reading concerned about where you stand in a relationship, it could be platonic, it doesn't have to be romantic. I feel like you're going to receive communication from this person only if you came here with that in mind. If I'm talking about this and you're like, oh yeah, there was someone in my life who I was kind of thinking, no, this is where like a matter of pressing like on your chest, it feels uncomfortable. I see a communication opportunity here. There are aspects of vulnerability here that makes this communication very uncomfortable. Someone feels like they're assuming and the other person feels like they're pushing the issue too much. So there is like a weird sort of subtle hint at wanting to discuss something quite important. It doesn't seem to be direct though. It's very like, so, you know, like, how do you feel about this? Or what did you think about the other day? Instead of sort of coming through with really direct communication, it's kind of like pussyfooting around the topic, just sort of testing the waters a little bit. I do see a little bit of like, the way that I would describe it is, I'm hearing the word deception, but it feels like I didn't lie to you. I just didn't tell you the whole truth. That's what it feels like. Like I didn't mean to lie to you. I just didn't tell you the whole truth. I wasn't keeping secrets from you. I just didn't tell you the whole truth. That's what this kind of feels like. And that's a little bit frustrating, to be honest with you, because from what I'm seeing, that's kind of not good enough. Like it's leaving a lot of room for you to just overthink and for you to kind of question the outcome here. Why do they need to know this message, Spirit? Why do my viewers need to? Because then the ball is in your court. You have to decide what you want to do about that. Are you going to ask more questions? Are you going to take initiative and really communicate from a space of wanting to take more control over the outcome. You need to know this because there are some things being hidden from you on purpose. Somebody is not being completely honest about how they feel, and they're not being completely honest about their intentions. In this situation, it could be a professional capacity too. You're kind of being put under a microscope. I think that somebody is really putting you in this place to kind of see how you're going to react. Well, what kind of person is group 2? How are they going to react to this? How are they going to kind of take this information? Someone is kind of putting you to a little test to see how you perform under pressure, I'm hearing. But with the 5 of Wands reversed, this is also a feeling of trying to resolve conflict, or to resolve an issue before it becomes a conflict, so that it doesn't get out of control, and so that we don't feel like it's turning out to be something bigger than what it is. Especially with the 9 of Cups upright, we want success in the situation. We want to feel happy. We want our wish fulfillment. I think that some of you need to do more research. You need to ask more questions. I know that I'm conflicting the evidence here, but your theme is encompassing other areas of your life too, where certain things that I've discussed at the beginning will apply. But in this specific situation, in this specific connection, whether it is platonic or romantic, professional or personal, you are being put to a test here on how well you can communicate in order to gather the information that you need to decide whether this is worth continuing to put your energy into. With the 5 of Wands reversed, if it becomes more challenging than necessary, there's no point in continuing to assert or fight for this, because you're going to start to feel like this situation is almost competitive, and you don't know what you're up against. You don't know what you're competing against or who you're competing against. So it's like you're having to fight for attention over here, because somebody isn't being clear with you about their intentions and about how they feel. So at the end of the day, your advice, if that feels like a situation that applies to you, is to take control of your communication and ask the questions that you feel are going to get you the answers that you need. And if you still feel confused and stuck and unsure, then that may be all the information that you need. This person cannot match your level of maturity as well as your communication style. I see all of you getting exactly the perspective that you need in order to navigate, for better or for worse. Some of you are going to get the information in a positive way, and it's going to give you a new perspective on the situation, and you're going to feel more enlightened and clear-minded. But others of you are going to feel more confused, and that's the answer. You can't push it any further, otherwise you just get more and more confusion. I'm going to switch decks, and we're going to ask more questions about this synchronous rotation. Spirit, as an overarching theme, what else do my group 2s need to know? What else do my group 2s need to know, Spirit? We have the Emperor reversed. This is where we see an element of things being out of your control, out of your reach, out of your scope. Justice reversed. An unfair situation. Knight of Cups reversed. One more card, please, Spirit, for my group 2s. We have the Ace of Pentacles. I don't think we're quite centered, so I'm just going to move this all over a little bit. Okay. So, the Ace of Pentacles is talking about the opportunities that come out of being a little less rigid with your plans for the future, especially if you find yourself in an unfair situation where you think you've been dealt an unfair hand or an unfair verdict. especially if you feel like you've been recently rejected from an opportunity that you believe you were qualified for, or more than prepared for, more than ready for. This could apply to any area of your life. Justice reversed is just saying that you feel hard done by. I'm hearing it's a hard knock life for us. So you may just feel like a system is against you, or you've kind of had to deal with somebody else's decision impacting you in a bad way as collateral. I just feel overall that you're actually being saved from situations that could become even worse. So if you're worried about legal issues, it's really important that you just follow the process and that you continue to advocate for yourself, and that you find people who can accurately and professionally advocate for you as well. It's really important, if you're following a legal process of any means, whether it's paying a parking fine or settling something in the system of justice, you just continue to follow that process. There are elements of this that are out of your control, but I do think that you're going to get a new opportunity out of this once you pay your dues. So that's one message that's coming through. The other thing that I'm seeing is in relation to contracts or offers. If you have been applying for contracts or trying to secure contracts and you feel like you're just not getting the news that you want to hear, or you're not getting the feedback that you want, this is also happening so that you can gain more of a awareness of what is out there. And I do think that you're being saved from some unfair contracts that could have you in very imbalanced partnerships. You are probably going to meet somebody who's going to tell you straight, this is why you're not successful. This is why we had to choose somebody else, or this is why your contract wasn't approved. This is why we couldn't sign the dotted line. Listen to what they're saying, because it may break your heart a little bit with the Knight of Cups reversed, but this is a reality check to help you understand how to look at the situation more realistically. Instead of coming in with a dream and all of these sort of romanticized ideas of how it's going to play out, you're being given constructive feedback on how you can better approach this goal of yours in order to get the tangible results that you need. So there are some constructive feedback moments coming through where I see you developing and growing and ultimately just getting that opportunity that you want to work on this in a more tangible way, materializing a goal and turning it into a success story. Now, this could also be impacting an area of your life where you've been actively working and trying to gain a partnership here. You've been working towards this area and you just feel like partnership-wise, you're just not getting suitable people. You're not getting a suitable offer, a suitable partner, a suitable partnership. I honestly, it's literally showing me frogs, this situation, whether it's romantic or not, could be a platonic partnership. The main thing you need to hear is that this is not supposed to be in your hands. You guys are being saved to be able to assume the best possible outcome, position, always. And if people around you are not aligned with your best possible outcome, you will be saved by them, which could look like rejection on your end. But it is ultimately that classic saying that you're probably sick of hearing, divine protection. I do think with synchronous rotation, a lot of what you need to hear today is about the bigger picture stuff. Spirit is saying if there are any unresolved issues in your life or areas of your life that you feel you are lacking and that things just aren't progressing the way that you had hoped, this is happening for a reason. We may not always understand that reason, but ultimately it's because what is around you is not aligned with you. So the Ace of Pentacles is telling me that you're being saved for better plans. You're being saved for better opportunities and to ultimately be able to connect with what you deserve. I am going to get advice around this next. I just need to have a quick drink of my water. Spirit, what advice do you have for my group 2 viewers when it comes to how they are not receiving what they want? Is there anything they can do to fast track this process? We have the Hierophant reversed. We have the Nine of Wands reversed. And we have the King of Cups reversed. It's just important that you stay connected to that bigger picture more than anything. I do think that when this opportunity comes towards you, you're more than likely to feel a little uncertain and a little emotionally protective of yourself. Sorry guys, my nose always gets a little weird when I'm channeling. It kind of leaks a little bit. So that was me just wiping it away. So the only thing you can do in order to stay connected to this best possible outcome and maybe fast track the process is to just make sure, King of Cups reversed wise, that you're not too hardened by your experiences. You're allowed moments of grace and compassion for yourself, where you remove yourself emotionally and recharge and reflect and, process some of the heavier feelings. That's natural, sweet soul. Rejection and feeling rejection isn't easy. And feeling like you're doing everything right and you're still not getting what you want isn't an easy pill to swallow. So take those moments out to check in and to process those feelings and to tap into those feelings, because once your opportunity does come your way, you have to be able to open up to it and to welcome it into your life and recognize it for what it is. Spirit's also indicating that your journey has taught you certain lessons about the world that will mean that when the right thing comes along, you will be able to recognize how it is different. You won't miss it. You don't have to overanalyze it. When it does happen, it's going to feel different and it's going to feel right. Part of it is just going to feel natural. Without even trying, you'll find yourself developing a genuine closeness or intimacy or connection to this. And it's just going to happen in a way that almost feels too good to be true. I think that fast tracking the process is ultimately out of your control. A lot of what you can do is just about processing what you've been through and making sure that the experiences that you have had up until this moment aren't callousing you from enjoying the opportunities when they come. So with the Hierophant card reversed, this is about appreciating how your journey is different to others. Perhaps the road that you've taken is a little less traditional, a little less orthodox, a little less systemic. Maybe the road that you've had really has broken barriers and boxes and made you feel like a bit of an outcast or the black sheep, because the way that you're doing things, as in many different areas of your life, doesn't seem to follow the rules. So you kind of need to be able to see that, and maybe a helpful reminder is to just not compare yourself so much to those around you, especially family, especially peers, especially siblings. And I do think with the Nine of Wands reversed, fast tracking this is just about staying on it. When one door closes, another door opens, redirecting that energy, redirecting your focus, your passion, your sense of purpose and direction. And sometimes that's not about just jumping from one thing to another, but that is about recognizing when to withdraw your energy, when to pull back, and at least pull your energy and your attention towards self rather than others, rather than these opportunities. It's not always about being driven and motivated. It's just about making sure that your intentions are clear. And in order to keep that intention clear, you will need times where you have slower moments, slower chapters, where you're just sort of keeping your energy close to build that level of confidence that you can have what you deserve. It may just not be working out the way that it is for others, and that's completely fine. All of these cards are reminding you that you're a natural being, and the systems and the ideas and the traditions that we carry or that we may possess as a society or a culture don't always align with the natural order. Ultimately, we are natural beings, and our beliefs can sometimes put us in these boxes that are just unreasonable. These expectations become burdens, and life is about living ultimately. So that's what I'm seeing. Let's see if we're missing anything else. How long have I been talking? Quite a while. All right. When it comes to the synchronous rotation, Spirit, to close my group 2's reading before we get advice and go into your extended reading. What is about to be revealed to them? What is about to be revealed to my group 2 Spirit? Okay. We have the Page of Swords. We also have the Three of Wands reversed. We have Temperance. And we have Judgment reversed. Okay, is that in frame? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so honestly, you guys are going to have a lot of emotional intelligence if you don't already. I think that most of you are pretty emotionally intelligent. You're very good at reading other people, and it comes from having to always measure your own emotions. I'm hearing capacity, expectations, all of these things that are linked to how we emotionally react. So I think that what is about to be revealed to you is the fact that something that you really wanted is being transformed. You guys are definitely receiving or in the process of processing something that's happened, and it almost feels like you're no longer as attached as you once were. I'm seeing time moving very quickly for you, as though you're doing this leap. And in hindsight, you'll look back and go like, wow, so much happened in such a short period of time. But it really had to happen that way so that you could kind of see how your focus was kind of slowing down certain areas of your life. If you hyperfixate on what isn't here instead of what is here, then the timeline seems to really slow down for you. So I do see you kind of getting wrapped up and time moving very, very quickly for you. You getting excited, getting distracted, helpfully enjoying your moments in the sun, getting inspired, getting interested in something that you thought was a future prospect, and all of a sudden now you can do it much, much sooner. This could have to do with travel, but it just feels like life is moving quickly for you. And as it does, this idea of what you've been really holding on to is starting to feel like less of a priority. It's still maybe there, but it's on the back burner. It's not at the forefront of your mind as like a hyperfixation. It's on the back of your mind now because there's other things here that are giving you a sense of passion, focus, and purpose. And so I think that ultimately what's being revealed to you is how some things can't all happen at once. Because if we got everything at once, we wouldn't be able to be successful in the ways that we are. We wouldn't be able to enjoy our story in the ways that we are. There's this appreciation for how life is very nuanced and how these things do ultimately work out, even if they don't feel fair at the time. So I do think that some of you guys with Judgment reversed and the Three of Wands reversed are ultimately being able to go, you know what? I realize now that I can't have my cake and eat it too. I can't just sort of experience the highs and the lows at the same time. If life did that to me every time, like it would just be too much. Because there are moments where that does happen. But it's not physically possible to do that all the time. there's a reality check here for sure with Judgment reversed, and an appreciation for what we can't physically take on. Almost like you guys are like realizing your physical limits. Like your physical vessel is saying, I'm tired. Like you could if you really wanted to, but we're probably going to get very sick if we do that. Our bodies run down. We need a rest. We need to focus more on this area of our life. We can't keep taking on and doing all of these things at once. Now, Temperance is about balance, and it feels like it's about you understanding what works for you right here, right now. This may not always be your capacity. You guys may be very high functioning. You may be able to take on a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility. But right here, right now, you're going to realize that your capacity is what it is. And it's not your usual capacity, but that's fine. I think Temperance is about healing energetically and de-stressing and giving yourself grace, a little bit of spontaneity even, to be able to decompress. The Page of Swords is some playful information that's coming through by way of maybe somebody saying to you, like, hey, have you thought about this? Or you could be scrolling and you'll realize, like, oh my gosh, like maybe I need to do that. Whatever this little information is, it's actually quite significant, because it's an opportunity for you to gain clarity on how you can better balance your energy levels. So the Page of Swords isn't always like an educated person telling you information, but the information is accurate. So it could be coming from a friend, someone who has, recently done something that they found really helped their energy levels. Or it could be coming from social media and you seeing an influencer who's recently done something that has really helped their energy levels. Whatever it is, the information is accurate, even if the source doesn't feel credible, if that makes sense. And you're going to know because it's going to pique your interest. You're going to do your own research and you're going to go, wow, this looks really right for me. For some of you, this could be like a blood transfusion to boost vitamins and iron in your blood system. But for others of you, it could just be, some sort of relaxation therapy or remedial massage, or it could be iridology. It could be something a little bit more homeopathic and holistic. Whatever it is, it's just a good, helpful little tool for right here, right now, decompressing and recharging. So let's get some closing advice from your higher self. Spirit, what closing advice do you have for my group 2s? What advice do they need to hear right here, right now? What advice do my group 2s need to hear right here, right now, Spirit? Okay, we have the 8 of Wands reversed. Your higher self is saying, slow down. Slow down, you're doing fine. I don't know the rest of those words. But your higher self is saying, slow down. It's not always about how quickly you can get there or how quickly you can achieve something. You're doing more than enough. I think that your higher self just wants you to pull your energy close and recharge right here, right now. That's the best thing that you can do. So that's what I'm seeing for you, sweet souls. I'm sorry that it wasn't it was really just one theme that we really read into, but I hope it was helpful. I'm going to take this reading into the extended now, where we will be focusing more on your love life, your romantic life, whether you're single, in a relationship, seeking or not seeking love. There will be messages for you there if the first part of this reading did resonate, especially. So your extended reading, we're having a look at what you need to know right now about your love life. We're going to have a look at your primary love interest, if there is one. I think there will be for you. And then we're going to have a look at what opportunities you have in love right now, what challenges you have in love, and what your best possible outcome is in love right now based on your current energy. It is still a reading looking more at your present energy, getting a little bit of a look into what could happen in the near future, but it's not necessarily a prediction reading forecasting too far ahead, if that makes sense. We're just having a look at what could be happening immediately next in the immediate future. So if that sounds interesting, the link to your extended reading is in the description box as well as the pinned comment. And if you've been watching me for a while, this part might be a little bit annoying because you would have heard it a lot. But if you're new here, that link does take you to my website where I host my extended readings. So please make sure you click on the right reading before you purchase it. Remember your group 2 of the What Do You Need to Hear, What Do You Need to Know reading that I posted in July 2024. Thank you all for your time, your energy, and your support right here on YouTube. It's been an absolute pleasure to read for you, sweet souls. I wish you all the best in your journey moving forward. Until we meet again, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Bye. Hi my group 3s and welcome to your reading. Full disclosure, my nails are still horrendous. But listen, a reading's got to get done, so we're going to power through it. I will be getting my nails done for the next video. But anyway, with that disclaimer out of the way, if you recognize this crystal or this card, then this is going to be your reading with me. We're asking Spirit, what do you need to hear right now? There will be an extended reading as well, where we will ask more about your love life, but I'll talk about that at the end. We may touch on your love life right here on YouTube. And essentially, to get into that extended reading, we have to start here. So let's put your crystal up there. I kind of need a quick drink of water before I get into it. Full disclosure, sweet souls, group 1's reading ended up being a lot more, I want to say, deep than what I was expecting. And group 2 just had a lot of information. So I highly recommend that you have something to take notes with, and pause the video if you need to. Write down what resonates, but also make a little list of what doesn't resonate right now, because it may resonate more at a later date. So let's get into it. What do you need to hear right now? Firstly, I can see with this black body in the reverse position that there is an element here of a warning coming through for you. Now, I do have the guidebook for this beautiful deck handy, but before I open it, intuitively, I feel like this group, you're being called to really question the energy around you and to pay more attention to how your habits, as well as the situations that you find yourself in, make you feel. Now, other people around you could be impacting shifts in your energy as well, but there is an energy here of accountability. Spirit is wanting you to be more mindful of how your actions lead you to be in these circumstances where things just don't feel quite right. It seems like we need to be more mindful about how we're investing our energy and how we're choosing to spend our time. Now, a quick message is coming up about your resources as well. So usually that to me is about money, but these are also your possessions. Spirit is calling for you to be more aware of where your resources are being allocated. You guys may be in the habit of lending resources to people, and then just sort of being really gracious about when you expect them to come back. While this is a wonderful humanitarian trait and a very charitable way of looking at life and the way that the world can operate, there is this feeling here of you needing to be very careful about giving too much away, especially if you do need it. You may also be at a point in your journey where it's time to purge if you're feeling either suffocated or just held back by having too much stuff. So it could be either sides of the spectrum with this message. For a lot of you, there is a feeling here of reevaluating the energy around you, which could include the objects, purging, getting rid of, even donating things that you don't necessarily need. Oh, there's a card on the ground and it's the Sun reversed. Interesting. I don't know if this really applies to you, so I'm going to put it away. But I had no idea it was there until my foot just touched it. So we'll see if it comes back. But I do think that there's a tangent message here about the way that you do see yourself, which is ironic. The Sun can reflect ego. There's a message here about how you see yourself and whether you allow the situations that you're in, the people you surround yourself with, and the habits that you form to dictate your identity. Now, this isn't a bad thing, and I don't want to call you out like it's a bad thing, but if you don't have control over other people's actions and choices, but you're putting so much weight on how they see you, you are setting yourself up for an element of failure there. You need a deeper anchorage in your sense of identity that isn't so determined by external forces. There's a message here of just taking some time to maybe detach from these external forces if this message applies to you, and just spend more time by yourself, with self, and just getting used to self again from a place of sustenance, knowing that what you have for self is enough and you are more than worthy of what you desire and what you deserve. So with those intuitive messages out of the way, I am going to look up this card in the guidebook now. Okay. The black body, an imbalance between giving and receiving. It absorbs all light and energy which hits it. Nothing is reflected or can pass through this opaque body. Its surface quickly absorbs all electromagnetic radiation, which hits it before a longer process of emitting it. It has a spectrum and intensity that is solely determined by the temperature of the body. In other words, the radiation that the black body decides to emit depends on itself only and its own surface's nature. This is the example of the sun. So it only takes 2 seconds to cross the radius of the sun at the speed of light, but in reality, it takes about 1 million years for the energy produced at the center of the sun to be released. This time is incomparably greater as the energy takes a random path which is incessantly interrupted by the absorption and re-emission of photons. Sorry, there's a lot of science jargon in this, so bear with me. There are 2 different times for giving and receiving. The time that a photon needs to directly cross the radius of the sun, and the actual time it takes for the energy produced in the nucleus to escape to the surface. I do love this deck because of the physics associated, but it is the tale as old as time of that imbalance between giving and receiving, using the sun's photons as an example. So there is a feeling here of just trying to reset what you're putting out versus what you're getting back in. I'm going to pull more tarot cards to see how this applies very specifically to your group. Spirit, please tune me into group 2's energy. We want to use the Hermetic deck for you, apparently. You're group 3, by the way. Sorry for saying 2. Please tune me into group 3's energy, Spirit. Those that chose the black body or snowflake obsidian. I remember that's why I chose the snowflake obsidian for you too, because after reading a little bit about that card, I was like, ooh, this is a group that needs protection. They also need to be more aware of what they're putting out and of what they're getting back. Spirit, what does my group 3s need to hear most right now? What do my group 3s need to hear most? We have the Queen of Swords, and when it's in the reverse position, there's a strong message here of discernment as well as being cutthroat with your communication. Don't hold back. Stand up and assert your words. You guys are likely in a situation where it is time to be very clear about what you want and to be very specific about how you expect this situation to play out. Spirit, what is this situation about, so they can really focus on it? Honestly, this could be a theme that permeates through multiple aspects of your life. You may feel like people are either taking advantage of you, or just sort of multiple areas of your life seem to have you feeling almost submissive, where it's time to be more dominant. The card that I have to clarify the situation is the Eight of Cups reversed. It does feel like a situation where you can't be allowing people to walk all over you. The Eight of Cups is in the reverse position, about you setting a boundary, whether you want someone to be here with you, present and a part of your journey, or to once and for all leave. There is an energy here of an ultimatum, and it has to do with playing with your emotions. Whatever the situation is, it's a situation that has been playing with your emotions, group 3. They're also showing me the Queen of Wands. My spiritual team is showing me that. And the Justice card reversed. Interesting. I'm visually getting this energy of like somebody standing over you. Somebody physically standing over you. I think that this energy is about making sure that you're no longer in an unfair situation where it feels like other people can just do as they please, come and go as they please, make decisions on your behalf. Spirit's saying, don't let other people make decisions about your future without actually coming to you, communicating with you, and making it clear with you. The Queen of Wands is interesting because this situation is also about self-worth and standing up for yourself because you deserve to be treated better. Someone's been really taking advantage of your low self-esteem, or the fact that you haven't been able to see yourself in the greatest light. The Queen of Wands reversed isn't always about low self-esteem. It can also be about the fact that you haven't had the physical energy to stand up for yourself. You may be feeling like you're in a situation where, you know, I'm just sick of fighting. I'm sick of having to assert myself. I have to be mindful of the energy that I put out because I don't have a lot of energy to give. You guys may have even been feeling like a little bit under the weather or sick. And I think that there are people in your life that have been taking advantage of that. To be honest, I'm seeing a lot of people underestimating you and treating you like an underdog or even an ugly duckling. You may exist in circles where image is really important, and you may feel like you're under a lot of pressure to physically look a certain way or to physically be a certain type of attractive, because there is this interesting energy here of comparison about body image and self-image. And to be honest with you, I am a very open-minded person. I never like to compare people in that way. So when the messages come through, it feels very obvious because it's so foreign. So you guys may exist in these circles where this is a thing, like you have to maintain a certain standard, or there's this expectation to look a certain way, whether this is a business situation or a societal thing. You may be judged based on your physical appearance here. So the situation does have you questioning self-image, and it also does have you feeling like self-esteem wise, you're just not good enough at times. I do want you to know this isn't true. This is why it's so important to be aware of what you're putting out versus what you're getting back, especially if you're trying to make some sort of friendship out of these energies, or you have to be amicable in these situations. What I'm seeing is that this isn't worth your energy. This is a situation that could be tied through a contract or a professional setting or a relationship. You know, maybe this is your spouse's mother, or this is, you know, somebody who you have a good friendship with one person, but the other people are just not sort of warming up to you in the way that you're expecting. And so it feels like a bit of a tricky situation. It feels like a situation where you are karmically connected, and it's not as easy for you to just disconnect and choose to redistribute your energy and your time. Spirit, what else do they need to know about the situation for their highest good? For your highest good, we have the Knight of Pentacles coming out in the upright. Oh, sorry, it is reversed. Why did I say upright? I'm getting this image of you just being very tall, like very loud and tall. It actually came through as a feminine presence with a very tall body. So you don't have to pretend to be anything but you are, but what you are, but just be proud about who you are and what you are. You know, that's the message here. Don't sort of pretend to be anyone but yourself, but be proud of who you are. Be proud of yourself. So with this Knight of Pentacles reversed, I do think that there is a message in this particular situation of redistributing effort, resources, time, because it's just not worth it. You know, a Knight of Pentacles is somebody who can put in the hard work if they need to. They think about the long term and really sort of, you know, making it through those difficult moments. They don't shy away from challenges. But with that card coming out reverse, Spirit saying it's not worth it, my group threes. It's really not worth it. It's not in your best interest. It is in your best interest to let the past be the past, to let bygones be bygones. And I do think that you have a lot more to offer than what you're giving in this situation. Now, where it's a bit complicated because there is a familial tie, or there is like mutual friends that are connected, or a professional setting connected, you can still maintain professional or respectful boundaries. But I think you need to stop bending over backwards. Okay, this is about redistributing that Virgo energy. Virgos can be very giving. They can be very sort of altruistic and just like helpful. But you need to know when to pull back, because people are just not deserving of your patience, your time, your effort, your care. The amount of thought that you put into these interactions is not reciprocal. It is time to think about how we can better utilize these aspects of ourself as well as our resources. Spirit is encouraging you to change lanes here and to consider other alternatives. Whatever it is that you're hoping to gain out of this situation, whether it's connection or a relationship or a contract or some sort of outcome, consider how you can gain that from other aspects, from other parts of this area of your life, or other connections that are already in your life. That is my advice for you in that situation. Let's have a look at what else you need to know when it comes to this theme. Actually, I'm going to use a different deck. We do have some beautiful bright light coming through, so I'm going to use a darker deck for my group threes, please, Spirit. What else do they need to know right now when it comes to this black body energy? What else do they need to know? We have the King of Pentacles coming out. So you have a deserving energy here. Could be an earth sign, mostly Taurus, but I am seeing Capricorn and Virgo as well. I also had Libra over here. Spirit, what do they need to know about this black body energy, this imbalance? We have the Eight of Pentacles in the upright position. So there is a situation here when it comes to your work. It is very important that you continue to invest what you feel is going to be rewarded. Your effort is definitely going to, like, there's an energy here of you reap what you sow. So what you put in is what you get out, is what I'm trying to say. Now, this is specifically when it comes to money. there is a specific message here with money. Keep working on it. Keep putting effort towards it. Consistency is what is going to yield results. And you do have to think about long term here. You have to think about the bigger picture a little bit more. And you have to think about how you can continue to develop and grow this area of your life. This is also about how you invest your money, but it's also about how you gain skills that can benefit the career path that you're on. If you don't feel like you are carving out a career for yourself, then I'd be very shocked, because there's a message here of you gaining experience and skills that are benefiting your chosen industry or your chosen career path. Now, with the King of Pentacles, you guys may be in a mentorship, or this could just be confirmation, if you're not seeking mentorship, that the path that you're on is going to be very lucrative. A lot of financial success. You guys are coming through as a GOAT, greatest of all time in your industry. Someone who has not only the experience, but the wealth to reflect their level of success and knowledge. Now is not the time to shy away from gaining more experience and skills, even if you would maybe consider taking short courses to brush up on knowledge. This is really going to pay off. Any effort you put into your career right now is going to pay off in the long run. You reap what you sow with your finances. Now is a wonderful time to invest appropriately. I really encourage you to seek financial advice from a financial advisor. But consider investing, and consider investing in yourself as well. Spirit, what else do they need to know with this black body energy? We have the moon. You guys may be entering a cycle here, because the moon always makes me think of cycles, where your success is stemming from your ability to trust your own intuition. You guys may need to kind of call some shots very soon. These would be decisions that you already have on your mind. And there's something about this that other people just don't understand. They might have all the information that you have, but they just don't know how to handle that decision-making process. They just can't fathom how you're going to figure out what to do in this situation. Spirit is saying, trust yourself. There's an energy here of your intuition and a cycle where your intuition is guiding you to know how to approach this cycle. And that's interesting, because the Eight of Pentacles is about cycles too. And that's why you've got to be consistent and look at the bigger picture. Because as natural beings, we can't always put in the same amount of effort every single day, especially if you are someone who is impacted by hormonal shifts and changes. Your natural cycles impact your ability to perform consistently. So looking at the bigger picture, you've got to be able to kind of pick yourself up when you have the energy to, and give yourself grace when you're feeling low. There is a feeling here of the bigger picture being very successful for this group. And you trusting your natural flow, your intuition, to be able to know when to really, tunnel vision, dedicate as much time as you can, versus when to just sort of take your foot off the gas and be a bit more relaxed in your approach, so that you have the time or the energy overall to just balance it out a bit more. Now, there is another message here with the moon about your feelings and your heart. We do know that this black body's message is about giving and receiving overall, and there being an imbalance. So I think what Spirit is alluding to on this side of your spread is that you guys are very good at knowing when these imbalances are off within. So you really need to start paying more attention to when you know something is off. And this is also about being in tune with your health and your hormonal health. So some of you may need to just book that doctor's appointment to get everything sort of checked up and make sure that everything is good. It could be time to do your annual checkup. But for others of you, this isn't necessarily about that. It's just about trusting yourself more, because you are so tuned in to your path to success. And at times other people and the need to almost perform for other people can take away that certainty that you have within. Your heart seems to be guiding you through a lot of confusion. And I think that at your core, you're a good person, regardless of what anybody else has to think or has to say. For you to show up as a King of Pentacles in your own spread, I would say that you have to make some pretty difficult decisions. You may be responsible for other people. You could at times feel like there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders. And you may also feel like you have to be a high performance, high functioning person. So you're not always going to be able to make everybody else happy. At the end of the day, you have to make the decisions that make yourself happy, and you have to be able to go home with yourself and to sleep with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be comfortable within yourself at the end of every day and how you choose to react or act on those days. So Spirit's message about this is very much about getting back in tune with that level of certainty within, and trying not to let these external... I think a lot of people are jealous of you too, sweet soul, with this energy. There's bitterness and there's jealousy over here. These two queens don't seem to be able to be pleased, and that's not your fault, but it may at times feel like your responsibility or your kind of issue that you need to resolve, which isn't fair by any means. And you guys may also just feel like this whole situation is either frustrating, or it could even feel like it's damaging to your reputation. As a King of Pentacles, you may be worried about how other people are going to think of you with all of this energy going on in the background. This is where we need those boundaries, and this is where we need to trust that what we're doing is what is going to give people that impression of us, not what other people say about us, but what we physically do with our actions and our effort. Spirit really wants you to stay on your path of success. You have a beautiful energy here of being somebody that a lot of people look up to and that a lot of people come to for support, for advice. You are people who may end up mentoring and inspiring a lot of people as well. But that does seem to come with a lot of responsibility, which is really the turning point in your reading that feels heavier. Is there anything else that I may have missed, Spirit, for my group threes? Any other messages they need over here? We have Judgment. So when it comes to your professional life, you have an opportunity here to reinvent your wheel. Judgment is talking about reinvention and a realization on how you can do things differently before it's too late to change. This is going to provoke the ideas of transformation, and the ideas that you have may not all be ideas that you implement, but they're going to inspire change. You're going to realize overall that things need to change. In order to know which idea to choose, Spirit is encouraging you to do your research, to follow through with this realization, and to ultimately fall back on that strong moon energy that you have. Your heart will always be in the right place. You need to just trust that you have a good sense of judgment at the end of the day. Quieten the background noise and tune into your own intuition on this. Be sure you're looking at the bigger picture, and be sure that you're exploring all of the extra little things that you may need to manage. It's almost like you guys may need to readjust your level of responsibility. If you have a new idea that feels quite radical, that could really change your lifestyle and impact other people who you feel responsible for, the best way that I see you handling this is by assessing whether you can minimize your responsibilities in any way. Are you doing the most right now? Is there a way to cut some of these strings that you're attached to so that this transition, this change isn't as daunting? There's a sense of liberation on the other side of this Judgment card, on the other side of this realization. These new ideas are about you being able to live your life from a place of, I want to say, having more peace, as well as more authenticity, because this Judgment card is more connected to Uranus than Pluto. There is this energy of you being able to live authentically as the individual that you are without having to conform to other people's expectations and beliefs. Who cares what they actually think of you? Let's use this realization to explore new ideas on how we can be more authentic in our approach to life. You will have a lot of options and choices, which may feel overwhelming, but please see it as a privilege. This can be an exciting opportunity where you realize that you're not boxed in. You actually have multiple ways out. You just got to do your own research and explore where your heart truly lies, because your heart is going to choose, and then your logical mind needs to do the research to figure out how to pull it off. So let's close your reading now by getting some advice from your higher self. What does Group 3's higher self want them to know, Spirit? What does Group 3's higher self? Okay, we got a card. Yeah, it's time. It's time to uproot. It's time to really embrace what your heart already knows. You may have already realized that things need to change for the better, and these changes could have been inspired by some heavier feelings. You guys may have been going through low moods, or you may have had to experience a sense of loss or alienation. You could feel like people are kind of pushing you out, or loved ones are moving ahead in life, and you're like, well, what do I do now? I just think that your higher self really wants you to look at the glasses half full and to shift your focus away from, what feels either too comfortable or like it's just too much, to, well, what can I do? What solutions are out there? What can I change about this? Uproot yourself. You don't need to be as stuck or stable or fixed to your current situation as you are. And this could be about your whole lifestyle, sweet souls, or it could be specifically pertaining towards a job. It could be about a relationship as well. But you'll know what it is because it's been bothering you for some time, and you've been looking for a way out subconsciously for quite some time as well. So this reading is confirmation to really explore those new ideas and to have a look at how you can embrace the lifestyle and the energy that you want by bringing in that good energy again and getting out of something that feels almost oppressive. It's going to be something you have to work for. It's not going to come to you, like it's not going to happen for you. It's going to happen because you've put your energy into it, because you've trusted the process, you've seen the signs, you've gotten out of your bubble, and you've said, yes, universe, I'm ready. The universe will give as good as it gets, so you do need to put in effort to show that this is what you want as well. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Group 3. I'm going to take this into your extended reading now, where we will have a look at your love life. What do you need to hear? What do you need to know about your love life specifically? For the other groups, I had a look at the themes that you are experiencing in your love life right now, and then we had a look at your primary love interest. We had a look at their energy towards you. We had a look at what their intentions, feelings, and actions are, and we had a look at who they are as a person as well, just to confirm that they are the one that you're dealing with. And then I just had a look at what is happening next. So it's not necessarily a prediction reading, it's more of like a guidance reading, looking at your love life as it stands right now, and then getting a sneak peek at what could happen next based on your current energy. There's also more advice in your extended reading, but it's specifically for your love life as well. So if the first part of your reading did resonate and you want those additional messages about your love life, click on the link in the description box or the pinned comment. That link does take you to my website. So if you're new here, I host most of my extended readings on my website. So please make sure you click on the right reading. Remember your Group 3 of my What Do You Need to Know, What Do You Need to Hear reading that I posted in July 2024. And triple check before you spend any money that you have the right reading, please. Thank you so much for all your time, your energy, and your support right here on YouTube. If this is where we're splitting ways, parting ways for now. I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Until we meet again, bye. Welcome, my group 4s. If you chose this beautiful crystal right here, or this pretty cord, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome, sweet souls. On my days, I feel so excited to see you guys. Some of y'all may have been with me for a while, or you've just been, I don't know, maybe binge watching me, I don't know. Anyway, not to project anything onto you, but there's always a group where I feel a strong connection with you, almost like I know you personally. And today it's group number 4. So welcome, sweet souls. We're asking Spirit, what do you need to hear right now? We are going to be talking about your life in general. But there is going to be an extended reading that will be focusing especially on your love life. So if you need more clarity around love, romance, that is going to be your extended. So we'll talk more about that at the end. For right here, right now, if y'all chose this protoplanetary disc, which was technically in the reverse position, but I've moved it upright to channel messages for you, then this is going to be your reading. Now, I highly recommend you to use something to take notes with. These readings are ending up to have a lot of information in them. So make a little list of what doesn't resonate, as well as a list of what does. It's highly likely that what doesn't resonate may have more meaning as time progresses. So what I feel for this group intuitively is that your message has a lot to do with major themes. I'm hearing of inclusion, which is interesting because I don't think that's the actual meaning of this card. I'm going to get the guidebook out to double check, but I'm getting this strong message of inclusivity and like a feeling here of being pulled close together. I feel like this reading is about giving you a sneak peek at what is to come, and by kind of showing you how everything is kind of coming together and how all the little efforts that you're putting into your life is coming together. There is a very high vibration to this group. Some of you may be actively manifesting. You may fully endorse and support the law of attraction, and you may be very focused on making sure that the energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. There is this strong feeling of you guys working well when it comes to what you put out there and what the universe wants to give back to you. So I'm hearing you are in the position to receive because of how much you give, especially my group 4s. Now, the other message that I'm getting is that a lot of you have a lot happening at once. It could feel like you're very busy, or there's just a lot of different parts of your life that are demanding your attention simultaneously. Protoplanetary disc is encouraging you to see how you can pull this off if you just get into some sort of like fine balance of juggling your energy, your effort, and your attention. Which means you may need to be more mindful of distractions, because I do think that this is a group that has a high capacity. You seem to have this beautiful chaos going on, and if you can limit the amount of distractions, I do see growth in multiple areas of your life simultaneously. All right, that's all I can intuit, so let me get the guidebook out, and we're going to have a look at this card to see what I have missed. Protoplanetary disk, Spirit, thank you. Where planets themselves are formed. Everything is on its path, just enjoy the journey. Although the nebulous material makes it difficult to achieve clarity in the here and now, something large, concrete, solid, and with endless possibilities is brewing. You are standing in a giant incubator. This is exactly where all planetary systems and physical processes take shape to create a planet. And not just that, all this happens around a star. Not only is there nothing to worry about, but also nothing that you need to do. If lack of clarity caused by the nebula brings anxiety or confusion, remember to pay attention to the sky. I think that "at" is a mistake if you're reading along with me. Sometimes it decides to get the clouds to float across in order to plot certain things together with the sun. On those days, we may only be able to see the clouds at a glance, but we know that the sun can also be found in the meeting. Everything is on its path. Just enjoy the journey. Yeah, you got some big things happening. No wonder we chose this beautiful crystal for you. High vibrations. Let me get some tarot out. I think it's time to really pull this message together with some specific key themes. Spirit, what do my group 4s need to know right now? What do my group 4s need to know right now, Spirit? What does group 4? Okay. We have the 5 of Swords reversed. What does group 4 need to know? We have the Sun upright. What does group 4 need to know right now? We have the High Priestess reversed. What else do they need to know? We've got a card falling off the back of the deck. We have the 6 of Wands. Honestly, I get this feeling like you may have a lot of people just buzzing around you. Group 4, there's a feeling of you vibrating, and there's a lot of humming around you, a lot of things wanting to kind of match your vibration. Spirit saying stick to what you know, in terms of you have a path that you've set for yourself. You have seen results on this path. You know that you can be successful. Don't get distracted by everything else. Stick to what your heart knows that it wants. Your head gets confused sometimes because you want to have it all figured out. You want to be in control all the time. You want to know everything about what lies ahead. All you need to know is what your heart truly wants, and I feel like the rest is going to fall into place. You guys are really good at making decisions. Don't doubt your ability to be able to weigh up the information that you have. You need to trust that you have all the information that you need on the journey that you're on the path that you're on. There is a strong feeling of this group being very heavily supported, very heavily guided in order to be successful. You guys are very high vibrational, and that doesn't mean that you're always happy. That's not what high vibrational means. You don't have to feel like you have your life figured out all the time, or you're always happy all the time. High vibrational is about acknowledging the energy you radiate, acknowledging the frequency you radiate, so that even when you have your down days, your sad moments, your heavier emotions, your heavier feelings, you're able to allow yourself to naturally process that heavier energy so that you don't let it stand in your way and create a stagnant blockage. High vibration is about alchemizing your feelings, your thoughts, and acknowledging that energy exchange with the universe to make sure that you are allowing high vibrational energy towards you, attracting the highest possible outcome and the abundance that you deserve. With the sun energy being here, you are a group that I feel is really on a good path. I think you're on your highest possible frequency. which means that you are attracting the most abundance that you can possibly attract right here, right now. It is very important that you all continue to say yes to opportunities, and that you all continue to maintain a sense of naivety. Because as knowing as you may be, as intuitive as you may be, as experienced as you may feel, as wise as you may feel, the more naivety you have, the more open and flexible your mind and your energy is to be able to receive these new opportunities that the universe is trying to give you. I can see a connection brewing in your life. Now, it could be platonic, however, there is romance indicated here. This is a connection that has a feeling of companionship with it. Whatever this connection is, you and this person have this beautiful feeling of knowing. You feel like you've known each other before, like you've known each other for a long time, and no matter how long you've actually been in each other's lives, there is a feeling of knowing that you're meant to cross paths right here, right now. It's very important that with this person, you don't put too much pressure on the connection. I think that you and this person are here as supportive figures to offer an energy of unconditional love, which can be tricky at times depending on what the nature of this connection is. I think it's most successful when it is most uninhibited. As soon as you try to force it to be something that other people want it to be, then it feels stressful. And then the anxiety and overthinking kicks in. Enjoy the process of closeness and intimacy that you are experiencing in this connection, and try not to rationalize it, as that takes the majesty and the magic out of it. Now, on top of that, if you guys came to this reading with a yes or no question, your answer is yes, and it is a positive yes, as in you will receive a positive outcome. If you came to this reading asking about a past person, I believe you are likely to cross paths with a past person again. I think that this time around there are more answers to be revealed to you, more information will be revealed. But unless that person is communicative, open-hearted, and warm in their approach to you, I don't see a positive reconciliation. I see this as an opportunity to gain more perspective about why you left each other's lives, and about why it is important that you continue to move forward on the path that you're on. You have people from your past and your recent past trying to catch up to you, group 4, almost trying to chase you, trying to kind of, I don't want to say match your energy because they can't, but they may think that they can trick you into believing that they have changed and that they are wanting what you want and aspiring for what you're aspiring for. You guys are coming through as very passionate, almost zealous people, as though you have a lot of momentum behind you. And while this energy is very inspiring, it's also drawing a feeling of jealousy and envy, people wanting what you have and what you've worked for and what you're striving towards. Even if you're not noticing a lot of success, other people are seeing the changes and they want more of what you have. Now, I do think that y'all may need to be more aware of your acquaintances at this time. With the 5 of Swords reversed, you guys are being called to re-examine the littler relationships that you have, the people who know of you through your close circle. There's an energy here of misunderstandings through what I consider to be either gossip or just, conversations that you're not involved in. And this is enough to kind of distract you from the momentum that you're in. I feel like this may have already kind of come your way. It's just really important that you don't give a second thought to energy that is in your past, That's all that message is really about. There are so many people that seem to want to keep up with you, and they really can't. So they're just relying on secondary information. They're relying on social media and what you put out there in public settings to be able to keep up with where your life is going right here, right now. Now, with the Six of Wands here, I do feel like Spirit has a message around public recognition and you getting praised for the way that you look and for something that you've been putting effort towards. Now, if your career or your studies are about to be recognized, I believe you're going to receive positive attention for that area of your life. But for a lot of you, this isn't about your work. This isn't about your studies. This is about you as a person and how you show up in public spaces. There is a feeling of people really looking up to you. And I think that you do get, can we say, validation from this. And I don't think it's unhealthy. I think there's this energy of a very even exchange of you putting something out there and then getting the confirmation that you need to know that you're doing enough and you're doing the right thing. The Six of Wands is encouraging you to continue to create. There's something about your zeal. Like, you guys are coming across as people with a lot of passion. And you have a sense of purpose from creation. You're supposed to be creating right now. Whether that is digital creating, as a digital creator, or whether this is artistically through creativity means. There's an energy here of you making an impact on a wider audience because of something that you've created, and you need to get back into the swing of that again. You will receive the praise that you deserve for the effort that you put in. I do see you guys developing a skill set here that is very fine-tuned to you. People may be waiting on you, waiting to see you, waiting to hear from you, waiting to get to kind of see you working in your element again. I think you have a bigger impact on a larger audience than what you realize, Group 4. There is a message here about your intuition and your spiritual team as well. You need to know that there is a feeling of your third eye needing to rest. Now, whether you are actively divinating and actively flexing your intuitive muscles, or maybe you resonate more as somebody who's more of a mindset person and you don't like to kind of think of it as spiritual practice, you think of it more as a mindset. It's really important that you give yourself enough time to rest, because you are so high vibrational. Your third eye, as well as your pineal gland, is overstimulated. And there are times when you overconsume either divination practices or these sort of positive mindset, I want to say strategies, to the point where your physical vessel just can't keep up, Group 4. So it's really important that you prioritize sleep. And if you are resonating as more of a night owl at the moment, that could be why, because it feels like your intuitive spirit is really activated, wanting to kind of stay connected to spirit, connected to source, connected to your higher self, your spiritual team. But your physical vessel just can't keep up. Your physical vessel is needing more water. And this isn't just about drinking water. This is about physical hydration. Your physical vessel is craving foods that stimulate and encourage a healthy pineal gland. Now, from my memory, I believe it's like a lot of whole foods that are good for your pineal gland, a lot of green foods, a lot of fruits are good for your pineal gland. I'm not a nutritionist, and I'm also not a qualified, what's the word of somebody who specializes in these things, like a guru who knows about your body and its connection to food. So I highly recommend doing your own research. I'm just going off the dome of what I do know. And I know that there are specific foods, I think a lot of them are fatty foods too, in terms of like legumes and nuts and avocado and salmon, those kinds of foods with omegas that are really good for your pineal gland. You may find that eating a diet that is better suited or more recommended for pineal gland function might improve your sleep, your physical stamina, as well as your mental alertness, because there is a feeling here of brain fog, of just feeling like it takes you a while to wake up in the mornings, of feeling like you're more active at night time, feeling like you have a hard time staying focused at times, no matter how much caffeine you drink. I don't think caffeine's the issue. I think it's the other things that you're consuming or not consuming. And there was this message of physically hydrating your body. So doing a nice hydrating face mask, hyaluronic acid might be a good idea. Again, I'm not a dermatologist. I'm just spitting what I know, but something to hydrate your skin, and your physical vessel needs more rest. Your third eye, I feel, is incredibly open. And I don't think this is a bad thing. There are a lot of wonderful readers out here who can tune in and just make sure that your energy is clear. You can go to a Reiki practitioner as well to make sure that your energy is clear. But the message that I'm getting is that your third eye is very open. It's almost natural to you now. It's second nature for you to be able to tune in to this plane that other people have to try to connect to. Your connection to source is also extremely strong, group 4. And that's because of this energy, this present energy, your mindset. You're very high vibrational, and it is almost instinctive for you to follow your highest possible outcome. That's how it connected you out of source, and source loves that. You also have a lot of ancestors. They're not all feminine figures, although I do feel a very feminine energy here. There's a very maternal but masculine energy around you that protects you and guides you actively to stay on this path, to ensure that you experience the successes that your ancestors didn't. It feels like you are somebody who, almost like a little bit of a fool, has this sort of happy-go-lucky energy. And you probably wouldn't describe yourself as that, but that's how you're being seen as, is like this child filled with potential, filled with purpose, filled with passion, filled with creativity and color. There's so much that you could do with this lifetime, and yet there's very little that you could do wrong, because you are so supported. I think you are people who are meant to have many different career paths in life. I think you are people who are meant to sample orthodox life versus a more unconventional, sort of offbeat lifestyle. You're meant to cross paths with many people throughout your lifetime. You're meant to parent as well, but some of you aren't meant to have your own children. It really just depends on the choices that you make. You come across as souls that are very rich, and you're supposed to be here to gain rich experiences. I do think with the 5 of Swords reversed, people do envy this about you. The fact that you may have been through some really intense lows, but that didn't stop you from also experiencing those beautiful highs where others get really stuck and trapped in situations. You just seem to know how to navigate and turn into like the next intersection, and before you know it, that low moment in your life was 17 chapters ago, whereas other people make that their whole life story. So there is this feeling of fast moving energy around you, but it's very natural. And I think you guys may be confronted by people who you once knew, who are still where you left them. And these could be family members with the sun. They could be siblings, parents, childhood friends. There's not, like, you don't need to feel guilty, is what I feel, for being able to overcome and continue to push through. I think more than anything, Spirit and your ancestors, your spiritual team, want you to know that big things are coming for you in the best possible way. You guys are on a path to success. You don't even need to know too much. With the High Priestess reverse, you already know enough. You just need to keep doing what you've been doing. And you need to give yourself a beautiful pat on the back, big hug for being able to be where you are today, as you are today. Even when you think you've made a mistake, you've done exactly what you were meant to do, which is experience this life that you have. I honestly think you have a whole audience of ancestors that are so happy and proud of you. It's literally going to make me cry, but like, the mistakes you make today are nothing compared to the hardships. And I don't mean to minimize anything in terms of the hardships that you may feel you've been through in this lifetime. But I think that the mistakes that you think you make, and at the time you might really beat yourself up and go like, how did I get in this situation? But your ancestors are like, no, you're doing amazing. You're exactly where you need to be. Okay, I'm going to have a look at what your main opportunity is now, what your main challenge is, and what advice you need. So we're going to pull out another tarot deck. I actually want to use this one in case there's any symbols here or signs that could be helpful. This is an animal tarot deck, so the animals could be signs and additional confirmation. If we have a look at this deck here, you guys may be seeing a planet with rings around it like Saturn. I'm seeing these flowers down here. They could be significant. I don't know what they are, but if you're seeing white flowers with 5 petals, 5 to 7 petals, that could be additional confirmation that this reading is for you. On this card, what's standing out for me, I know it's not. I know that that's probably more flowers, but what I'm seeing is reef. So coral could be a symbol for you. I live near the Great Barrier Reef and we have coral like that. I'm also seeing granite and marble-like stone could be significant. Shiny metallic surfaces that are quite big, like tables that have that sort of texture, could be a symbol. The number 19, the number 5, the number 6, and the number 2 could be a symbol. A crescent moon is standing out, and that way of illustrating stars as well. I know there's heaps of ways to illustrate a star, but that specific style where it's like the 4 main points and then the diagonal 4 points as well, 8-pointed stars, could be significant. And your third eye, that imagery of an eye, is really significant as well. Cobras, as well as India as a country, because that just makes me think of the Indian cobra. Okay, Spirit, and king cobras from India. Okay, Spirit, what is my group 4's biggest opportunity at the moment? What is my group 4's biggest opportunity at the moment? We have the 2 of Pentacles, Capricorn. Very colorful. What is their biggest challenge at the moment, Spirit? Oh, we have the Page of Cups as your challenge. And what is their advice at the moment? What advice do they need to hear? We have the Queen of Cups, mushrooms and snails with these ferns. And we also have the Eight of Wands, a falcon. And those arrows or archery could be significant. We have a school of fish here. So not just one fish, a school of fish. And the infinity symbol could be significant as well. Okay. At the back of the deck, we've got this fluffy poodle-looking dog. Nine of Cups in the reverse position. So, let me just have a quick sip of water, you guys. I actually want to start with your challenge. For it to be the Page of Cups, your challenge at the moment is just staying in this fun energy. You need to know that it's okay to have fun. It's okay to not take life so seriously. And it's actually really important that you keep these sort of light-hearted, open-hearted interactions going. I think it's really important that emotionally you put yourself out there to receive the goodness from others. Now, this may feel naive, especially if you have struggled with trust in the past and if you have had to experience the worst of people in some way. But right now, the energy that you put out is attracting very lovely, warm, unconditionally loving and accepting people towards you. And you don't have to have intimate, deep friendships with all of them. But I'm seeing literal strangers going out of their way to smile at you, going out of their way to say hello to you or to help you if you drop something. Spirit is encouraging you to have this almost naive friendliness, this open-hearted energy, especially if you're trying to build connections right now or start new connections. It's really important as a challenge that you stay open. Now, some of you do need to do more check-ins with your heart space because the Page of Cups could be indicating that you are having a hard time understanding how you feel and what your heart space is feeling. The Page of Cups is referencing a strong emotional need to be more open. And it might be at times a bit hard for you to kind of maintain this, or you may have been having some doubts. So without sort of over-explaining it, I think that overall, your challenge here is to be fun, light-hearted, and open-hearted. Your opportunity is very similar to your themes at the beginning. The Two of Pentacles is a card of essentially juggling. It's a card that means that you're quite a busy person and you have a lot going on. Spirit is saying you have the ability to grow multiple areas of your life simultaneously. And you are people that are able to operate under a lot of, I want to say, pressure with high capacities. The Two of Pentacles is alluding to the fact that as long as you stay on top of a routine or some sort of consistency, at times being flexible to evaluate, well, maybe I need to put more time towards this area of my life. Maybe I can sort of take some time away from that area because that area is thriving. As long as you're sort of able to manage and oversee the operation, I do see you being successful. Your biggest opportunity is being able to juggle things quite well, especially if you've been considering starting something new for yourself or following through with something and growing it even more, but you're worried about how it's going to impact your lifestyle or your health or your relationships. I do see multiple areas of your life growing simultaneously. Your biggest opportunity is the capacity to be able to do this as long as you can manage your resources well, your money, your time. You guys do also have an opportunity here with the Two of Pentacles to get into a flow or a rhythm that could fast track results if you can stay consistent in a short period of time. So now isn't the time to procrastinate. Now is the time to get a plan in place, to set some achievable goals. I used to always talk about SMART goals on my channels, which is a way of tackling goals so that they are achievable. So instead of them being dreams, these are things that we are achieving. And SMART is basically an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely goals. So these goals need to be specific, they need to be measurable, we need to be able to break them down, and we need to make sure that they are achievable within our realm of capacity and skill set. They also need to be realistic in terms of time frames, which is why timely is next. And they also need to be realistic in terms of what we may need to do in order to make it happen on a larger scale. So we don't have to be able to do it all on our own, but if we were going to get help, it needs to be the kind of help that we could realistically achieve, if that makes sense. There's probably too many letters there for what it is, but it makes sense to me, and it does help me too. So I just share it. It's probably not the best one out there. Every time I say it, I'm like, oh, it could probably be smaller. Some of those things sound very similar, but anyway, I didn't come up with it. I just found it and it worked for me. So SMART goals. I honestly think that your long-term goals, things that you want to achieve in the next 2 years, have a very high chance of coming true. You don't even need to stress. That's the thing. You just get the ball rolling, and what will be for you, sweet souls. Because it's so ingrained in you, like the energy of success is just here. And when something needs to change, like your spiritual team show you how you can change it. You're so connected to your highest possible outcome. These things come to you almost effortlessly from the outside. From the inside, you're a high capacity person and you carry a lot. And you probably will be someone who's been through a lot in their lifetime as well. So it's one thing to stand on the outside and say, it's easy for you. I understand that's not your interpretation of your life. But as a guidance reading, Spirit just wants you to know you have not peaked. You will continue to achieve and you will continue to inspire. Now, your advice overall, I feel like I've been spitting advice at you this whole time, but your advice overall is to not let other people's feelings get in the way and to not let your own intuition get in the way. Just because you know how something might play out doesn't mean you shouldn't go for it. With the 8 of Wands, follow your passion, follow your interest, follow your desire, and continue putting yourself out there. The 8 of Wands is about moving quickly, but it's also an energy that has us doing things without knowing exactly what's going to happen, if that makes sense. The Queen of Cups is very intuitive, so sometimes we don't always need a fully fledged plan, a fully fleshed out plan. Sometimes we just need that initial spark. I honestly think that you guys have a good foundation working for you right now. So the best advice I can give with this is to just keep that momentum going, keep your energy flowing. You're on the right track. And anytime you need confirmation, ask. You will receive it. If anything, y'all need to stop overstimulating your third eye and pineal gland because you've been doing the most. Especially if you do work in this field as well. Y'all need breaks. You need time out to be a human as well. And to not always be drifting in the spirit world. There needs to be a balance of being a human being, enjoying this experience as well. And be careful of putting others first, because I feel like once you love so deeply. So be careful of sacrificing your own desires and heartfelt wants just because somebody you love wants something else for you. At times, I don't think it happens very often, but I do think that there are a few people who get the best of you and they're coming through as being the closest thing to an energy vampire in your life. Even if it's not that insane or that dramatic, I still feel like there are loved ones who sometimes get the best of you, and you need a little bit more space from these people, a little bit more time to spread your wings and do the things that light you up and that really give you this burst of creativity and passion. So that's what I'm seeing for you, my group 4s. You're a very different reading to my other groups. I definitely didn't follow the book with you. So much came through for you though. I'm going to take this reading into your extended now, where we will focus specifically on your love life. Now, the love life reading has a very different structure to it. We're going to ask Spirit, what do you need to know about your love life? But we're going to be pulling oracle cards to tell us the themes of what is happening in your love life right now. And then I will be having a look at your primary love interest. We're going to have a look at how you could recognize them, just to make sure that I've got the right person for you. And then we're going to have a look at what their energy towards you is, diving deeper to have a look at their thoughts, feelings, and intentions towards you. Then we're going to have a look at their next actions. We're going to have a look at what is next in your connection and what is next in love for you. We'll compare the two to see similarities, differences, and then we're going to close your reading with advice from your higher self and from Spirit. So the extended reading is very detailed, and it's all focused on romance, which might be helpful if you feel you didn't get enough romance messages in the first part of your reading. So if that sounds interesting and something that you're interested in, especially if the first part of this reading resonated, the link to your extended is in the pinned comment, as well as the description box. If you're new here, that link takes you to my website where I host most of my extended readings. So it's really important that you take your time to find the right reading. Remember your group 4 of my What Do You Need to Know / What Do You Need to Hear reading that I posted in July 2024. So find the right reading first before you pay any money and before you check out. Thank you so much, sweet souls, for all of your time, energy, and support right here on YouTube. Until our paths cross again, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Bye for now.